Ended up with no internet. I shut the Wi-Fi off. I think it was interfering with cellular. I'm going to go on cellular. Here we go. Last week I did a video and the garden was just totally weedy. I got it all weeded for the most part, and things are growing real good. Here's my first corn I planted. It's got a decent population. I tried to get at least three stalks of corn per hill, and on average I think I've got maybe 3.3. And I see here there's about three of them that only have two, but I'm just going to leave it. Other times I replant, add corn back, and try to get three. This time I'm just going to leave it. It's too late to replant since we were gone to Australia and Indonesia. Came back. And if you put corn more seed down, it'll get crowded out by the others that are a lot bigger. So I left it. I got a decent population here. It's all weeded, just like these potatoes. I think the first two rows are red potatoes, and there came from a potato seed I had last year in the fridge. They were starting to grow a little, and I picked the ones that were growing the most, and I just put them in the garden. I still got a couple decent meals left in the house of potatoes if the family would eat them. So I still got potatoes to eat, and maybe by the time those are gone, I'll have more to dig. Here is purple sweet potatoes. I got 6 plants. This one here was a seed potato that Nana didn't want. She said I harvested them too late and they were woody or stringy, and so there's a couple of them. This one and this one here are from the seed potato. These others were clippings. I cut ends off last fall and I planted them in pots, and they grew, and I put them in the house all winter, and here they are. So I'll give this another try. In this row I got probably about 8 cauliflower. I had some seed I wanted to get rid of, and I planted a row and only like 8 emerged. They're mixed in with tomatoes, volunteer tomatoes that I'll just let grow with them. And this one here was real sick looking. It's still sick looking, and I was thinking a cutworm was cutting it, and probably was a cutworm, but that one may die, may live, I'm not sure. And this next row I tried to plant bell peppers, but the seeds was pretty old, and I think I had none. This one here, this plant here, could be one, but I kind of think it's a weed. This morning it was all weeds, and I just dug it up, and I think I'm gonna go get some plants, maybe at UGO. They have some cheap ones. They still have them. I'll get them. And here is 3 sunflowers. Got 4 viewers. That's 6 viewers. Let's go. I got sunflowers. These are giant sunflowers. I just plant them. From the sunflowers I had the last couple years, I baked them, and they turned out okay. Probably could be a little more salty, but I got seed to eat, and I'm going to try to get more. I got 3 that came up, and I replanted a good dozen or so more seeds. So if they come up, they'll come along and have a row of sunflowers. Here is tomatillos. These are planted from seed that tomatillos that I had last year, but those, I think I had 2 plants, but those plants came in probably from bird droppings. And I decided, well, I'm going to plant a row of them from tomatillos that I harvested, and they came up pretty thick, especially up there towards the top. Here is cabbages I planted. It's been about 6 weeks ago. I put them in. The plants were not that vigorous looking. I put them in, and now they're starting to take off. And here's a volunteer tomato where a cabbage died. I just put it, and here's one of the struggling ones, but it's looking a lot better. Here's another one, a bigger one. Here's another volunteer tomato. And here's this one that's the smallest. It barely had a leaf on it when I planted it, and it's finally starting to add leaves. Here is more potatoes. I think it's a mixture of Yukon Golds or Kennebecs. I think they're mostly that. That one up there looks like a red, but potatoes are potatoes. Okay. And here is sweet onions. This first row are Georgia sweet onions. They really look good, especially up at the higher end where there's a little bit more sun. And these at the end of this row are Georgia sweet, but you get further up, these are Texas sweet. There were bigger looking bulbs when I got them. And here's a seed pod starting, and I'll just pinch it off. It'll make the onion bulbs smaller, and it'll go to seed, and I don't want that to happen. Looks like I have to do a little bit more weeding on this, so I'll get that here pretty soon. Carrots, I think these are Danvers. I got a pack of seed last summer, and I think I just forgot about them, and I was thinking about planting seed in the fall, but I didn't think I really had any room to put them in, so I stuck them in the spring, and they came up as probably as good as they could. And they're a little thick, but I mean, they're going to be a lot of carrots to eat if things go well. And here is lettuce, and this is from seed I harvested last year, and I've already I think I've eaten about 3 salads off of it, and really good. There's really good salads with this, and it's about ready. It's maybe about 3-4 days. I'll cut it again, and I'll just eat salads every day. I put these rags around them. I'm trying an experiment. When it rains, the soil flies up in the air and gets on the lettuce, and I have to clean it when I get it in the house. And this will probably keep most of the dirt off of the lettuce. So that's an experiment. These rags were used to put on earlier, were put on the tomatoes and the melons to keep them from freezing. And I'd say, I'm just going to turn that around and put along the lettuce to keep it cleaner. All right. And the lawn got mowed. And I forgot to mention here around the purple sweet potatoes that I put all the mulch from the yard, and it'll break down, and then the potatoes will crawl over it and then root in it and make, it'll make soil, and it'll fertilize the potatoes and make them grow better. At least that's the plan. Okay, I got there's five melon patches, and these are acorn. They came up real good. I got them weeded, and here are some pumpkins. Just threw in a bunch of old seed I had, and I think there's a weak one down there, but it's alive. But I got 6, and some of these supposed to be giant pumpkins, so maybe and those giant ones, I planted them before. They need a lot of sun, and they're kind of, and I've been cutting back some of these trees, and maybe they'll get the most sun they've had in a while, and we might get something out of them. So if there's some giant ones there, we'll see. And here's that cabbage that bolted, so I'm mad at it. And here's one I harvested, and we had that one with corned beef the other day, and it was really good. And here are some climbing beans, and I think there's 11 of them. I think they came up a bit thin, but they don't really have to be that thick, because if the vines behave like these other years, they'll just fill up this whole fence rather thick and give me a lot of beans. So and here, let's see. Oh, these are cantaloupes. This is one of the sunnier places along this fence here, and I'm trying to give them a pretty decent amount of sun. There's a good dozen there. Those came up good. And here are some, these are butternut squash. I think there's like 8 plants, and that's a good population, and they grow about anywhere. And I still got some from last year in the house, and I need to get them. If I have enough, I made a pumpkin pie out of some, and that tasted real good. So I'm going to try that again. Here are some watermelons. This is just a collection of old seeds I keep throwing out every year, and they come up. And what is there? A couple. There is, I think, 8, a dozen. That's a good 15. That's a good amount to all various types of watermelons. So, and I'll let them crawl up over here on this concrete. I did that 2 years ago, and it worked rather well. Well, I got some weeding here along the fence. There's trees and what is that? They call it pokeweed, and some more weeds. And I got these flowers. They're paper white flowers that someone gave to my wife to plant, and I planted them, and they flower every year. And here is my second planted corn, which is better looking and taller than the first planting. So they'll probably pollinate at the same time, so I'm going to have a whole lot of corn, and I'll probably freeze some, because I'm going to probably have 100 or so ears all at once, and I can't eat all of them. And here is this, I'm going to get this vine out of it. This is a 3-year-old cabbage. It keeps coming back every year. I tried to kill it with leaving it uncovered last winter, and it didn't die. So it got down to 8 degrees one morning, and it didn't kill it. And I'm just left it in the corn to go to seed. I need to kind of trim it back to keep from competing with the corn. Here, and this here now is white onions. Got them weeded. They were really weedy in spots, and I weeded them. It was really muddy, and my hands got real muddy, but I had to start somewhere. And I see one trying to flower. I'll pinch it off, and they look good. And I'm going to open this up, dig this dirt out of the front here, and it's not supposed to rain until maybe next week, but I'm going to let the water run down the rows I got the advantage of I think I got 5 times the area of driveway and sidewalks and everything. So for every inch of rain that, in theory, that rains on this concrete, the garden gets 5 inches of water, which is plenty. So a third of an inch does quite well. You can, if you get a third of an inch slow enough, you can kind of irrigate a lot of this garden. Okay, here, these potatoes, these really look good. These are red potatoes. They're bushier. I forgot to show those over there. I may go back here in a second. And down here, they need weeding again. I think I might weed a little and then mulch here. I need to mulch within a week before they get further out in between the rows. And this one here is a volunteer, and it looks like it's a Kennebec. It has to be a Kennebec that I missed. And well, it's in the potato row. It just well be with the potatoes, so I left it. And there's also a volunteer potato over in the corn, and I'm going to try to keep them pushed away from each other to not compete against each other. I'm going to go back to all good here. I got some buds. So that's a sign that they're, and I got something really good. I've been seeing these ladybugs. And ladybugs will take care of and I see this one budding. So I'm going to look at some of my other photos. There's a lot of ladybugs. That's great. Might not have to spray them if there's a lot of them. I'm going to look at these other potatoes I got in and here's my water collection. I've been taking a lot of water, and I've been transplanting a lot of volunteer stuff. And I would weed something like those carrots over there. I weeded them, and I'll take a sprinkling can to make sure if some got loosened too much, and I'll get the roots kind of back in there and get some moisture on them so they won't stress them out. Okay, back down here, and this is my experimental raised garden bed using logs. I cut down some trees over here, and I placed them, and I got some soil from around over there, and I put decaying wood in the bottom, and then like finer stuff, soil and branches mixed, and then I put soil on top, and I got potatoes growing in them. And now I'm mowing over here, and I dumped a bag and a half of clippings, and to keep the weeds down and hold the moisture in and fertilize in these potatoes. These red ones here, they're a little bit thick. They're a little close together. I hope they do okay. They could get possibly tall as this fence if they're competing with each other and trying to get some sunlight. And these 5 here are either they're Kennebecs. I think they're leaning towards Yukons. Kennebecs have a little bit broader leaf. These look, hopefully, if they're Yukon Gold, that's good. And I didn't say anything about this volunteer lettuce in the pumpkins. And I'll just let it go. And I'll clip it if it gets big enough. That's about all I can do. Okay. No one's watching. And I got no thumbs up today. I guess everybody's eating lunch. Got my new watering can. I'm going to take it up. I got some potted plants that probably need watering because it hasn't rained for quite a while and it's supposed to get hot. Okay. Okay. And here's a gob of volunteer tomatoes again. Because of a cabbage not surviving. And here's a cabbage here, another one, and another volunteer tomato gob, and a cabbage, another cabbage here, and another. And this one cabbage down here is a volunteer cabbage. I harvested a whole bunch of seed last year, and I threw the cabbage, what left of what I shelled out, and I knew there was going to be seed in it. I didn't really want to throw it in the garden because there'll be cabbage seed growing everywhere. But there was a cabbage next to the leaf pile, and when I was going to put some squash over there, I removed the cabbage and brought it over here to grow next to the other cabbage. Here is some more tomatoes. There's 2 rows. I can't remember which. I might have put the what was it? I think they're Celebrity. I think they're Celebrity. I may have put them in this row to get more sun than the beefsteak, which I've been growing other years. So I'm trying to give I think these Celebrities a little better chance. These 2 plants are a little weak. I water them a little to kind of get them going. These others look really good. And these at the top, that one's really flourishing. And these also. And here is a gob of nightshade, and they make berries that are edible. And this whole garden, a lot of this garden was just loaded with them, and I had to just dig them up. There was just too many. And here is a weedy area that still has some volunteer tomatoes. And I just finally got all this pumpkins. Oh, I see one more. There's one I missed. A pumpkin. And I got a good, I think 8 this morning of volunteer pumpkins, and I made a hill out of them over around the neighbors. And with these volunteer, what's left, I think I'm going to put one there, and there's one already there, and I'll add to it. I think I see some volunteer cantaloupes, so I might just leave that area and not add, and I'll add volunteer over there pile. And okay, here's the cabbages I planted I think it was July and August. I think I planted them in planters like the 25th of July. That's a good. And here, this one here is it should be harvested soon. And this one here I harvested a month ago before we went to Asia and Australia. And one I picked just a couple days ago, I got in the fridge. It's probably got a lot of junk in it, a lot of stems and seed or trying to flower, and I'll clean that up. And I may add this one here and make some cut up some Polish sausage and fry it in the pan with the cabbage and make a real nice lunch. So here is a gob of volunteer pumpkins and squash. They've been interbreeding and mixing year after year, and there will be all kinds of different sizes and shapes. And some of them are good for jack-o'-lanterns. So I'll just keep doing that. Here's some more. Here's another gob of volunteer tomatoes. I made a whole 4 hills of them. I just took the shovel, they were crowded, and I just put a whole pile of tomatoes in there. And I did that last year, and it worked well. There'll be there'll be big tomatoes in with smaller ones. Usually volunteer tomatoes are little, like cherry tomato sized. They're usable in soups and stuff, so I'll keep doing that. Here's another gob of pumpkins and squash. Volunteer, I brought on over. This is where that cabbage was. I threw the cabbage trash out here, and there was a cabbage down here at the edge. Huh? No, that's a weed. Can't be a potato. I don't see any more cabbages. And there was a cabbage over there, but I forgot about it, and I mowed it off yesterday. So I think I would have moved it over, but and here is this older hill of cabbages and squash. They're struggling a little. Well, the weather's kind of mild or cool too, and they're not really thriving yet, but they're doing okay. There's this asparagus. It's just not like it was last year for some reason. Where is that one that's growing? Where are you? I planted some asparagus seed off these that were harvested off these plants, and I put seed in, and I thought one was growing. Oh, this. That could also be a spruce tree. There was a big spruce tree that the neighbors cut down, and that could be a spruce tree. And I'll just let that grow and decide what it's going to be. And if it's a spruce, I'll try to move it somewhere. I tried moving one last year and it died. I don't know, just flat out died. And here's it's starting to flower asparagus. And I'm going to get the rest of these tomatoes out of here, these volunteers, and I'm going to rake this over and get all the weeds out, and then I'm going to put in some corn, like the third planting. And I see there's a lot of nightshades here, and I'll probably move them to a little open area and have another little patch of nightshades. Usually nightshades come up midsummer. I see some nightshades here. And you leave them and you just have berries mid to late summer. And here is some half-runner beans that I planted. These from Mama's. And when she passed away, her family gave me the seed, knowing that I'll just put it in the ground. And they came up. They were in the freezer, and they came up really good. And they froze a little. Probably about 10 days ago. Oh, more like 8 or 9. The frost nipped them. And they're okay. It got the top leaves. But it left the growing part, the growing leaves, the next leaves, it didn't hurt. So it nipped them a little, and they're recovering. And I just got them weeded yesterday, I think. And this whole fence is going to be just loaded with beans here in the next few months. And here is the squash and pumpkins that I just transplanted this morning. Oh, I left my trowel. This trowel keeps bending when I use it now, so it's probably about ready to break. But I've been using it heavily. I just scrape the weeds instead of pulling them, I'll just scrape them, cut them off. And I couldn't go down with a hoe with it because I'm make a mistake and cut something important. So I got down on my hands and knees and the fine tooth comb and scrape dead weeds. And I did a whole lot of that the last few days. And it pretty much wore out this trowel here. And I use it also to dig up volunteer stuff. And I did that with these pumpkins. I would just pop it in the ground and pry it up and throw it in a pan and bring it on down and put them in the ground. And there's George. Hi, George. Yeah, George. And the neighbor's making an attempt with some tomatoes. They're gonna, if they're taken care of, they'll do good. They're getting a little bit scorched by the sun, getting used to the sun. Mine did that too this year. They take a while to adjust. And she's got some potatoes here, and she'll roll up this bag and keep filling, and maybe get potatoes. Okay, George. Oh. What happened to the hand? Did it?
Oh my gosh, something got in here.
Something got here and got the hand?
Yeah.
Oh.
This thing off.
Oh, got it off?
Got inside the little thing and got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's my second little hand.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, I'll just end this stream. Because George is barking too much. All right. Yeah, there's neighbors had a tragedy with one of the chickens again. They had a varmint come in and ate the miniature chicken. And had the cutest eggs. So wrap it up, Jim Miller's Garden. I'll probably be maybe a week or so when things get more bigger and more harvesting and whatever. All right, thanks for watching Jim Miller's Garden. Thanks for watching. There wasn't many people here today, but I'm glad. I like making these. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching.